One.
All right. Hey everybody. So my name is Grample, and this is Kirby 64 100% category. And with me on the commentary, I have Evil Yelpstol.
What's up?
So 100% is basically just picking up all the shards and defeating the true final boss 02. So time will start as soon as I pick up or hit the start button here. Let me just get my splits up real quick. Alright. That's gonna happen in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, we got the tutorial skip, let's go!
That's the first easy one.
Yeah.
After that, we're all set.
Alright.
So it'll start off pretty fast here. The first thing I'll explain is that the first thing we're going to grab is this fire ability right here. And that's going to give us really good movement speed. And you can see what he's doing here. Call that fire canceling. What that essentially means is that after you single fire, usually you'll just drop and you can't use the power up again. But what he does is press A to get a little puff, presses B to puff it back out, and then presses B again. If you do that in a good rhythm, it'll keep going in a straight horizontal line, and that is fast movement speed. Already past the first mini-boss, blazing through this game here.
It's almost as if I played this before.
Freaking good, dude. So, also in Kirby 64 is this new thing they did in the series where you can combine power-ups here. You just combine fire with bomb. That's going to give him the ability he needs to go up to this little mound here and get this crystal. In every level of this game, well, most every level, there are 3 crystals you have to collect. And if you get all those, that is considered 100%. If you have 100% by the end of the game, you get a secret level and boss, and that is the good ending.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote good ending, yes. So essentially all he's doing here in this first world, he's going through, he's getting all of his little friends to gather around the notebook with him here. So in this level he's going to be grabbing fire again. If you see what he just did there, he slid off the ledge. If you hold down and press A, Kirby has a little slide, which is faster, but there are a lot of recovery frames to it. But if he does it off a ledge, it cancels that recovery. So what he'll try to do is every single time he comes off a ledge or anything like that, he will slide off it. It saves probably 0.1 seconds, but if you do it 100 times in a run, it saves quite a bit of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of single fire canceling in the beginning of the run. But for the most part, it's all a very tight movement.
You guys think about this game is it's not really super movement skill heavy. It's just like a million very small things you have to do faster, and that all adds up into a faster time by the end. It hardly looks faster if you've never watched this game much before, but everything makes a little difference.
So one of the major differences of 100% and any percent is the fact that I'm not just using fire the entire time. Well, I'll actually have to swap out powers in between to pick up certain shards that are blocked off. Say there's like a green block in the way, I'll have to drop fire to get cutter to break the block. But everything's all choreographed and all planned out.
Yeah, so this is our second friend. How do you say her name? Adeline?
The Japanese people pronounce it Adorenu, but it's Adeline.
Adorenu.
It's Adeline.
Oh, okay. I'll just say Adeline. So the Japanese restream can understand me. I'll speak a little bit of Japanese in there.
No, please don't.
Adeline.
Oh my god.
So yeah, she just does this little fight where it's like a little mini enemy run. Paint stuff on her little easel there. And yeah, this is the second friend we'll be gathering. And if you see, after every little boss he defeats in this first world, they all gather around that little table at the end. The initial development of this game was supposed to be on the Nintendo 64 disk drive, and originally they had enough memory to make all these guys playable characters. Then of course disk drive got scrapped, and they just sort of show around the table and they hang out with you in your little adventure now, so it's kind of cute. A little bit more single fire. He's going to stay on the ground this time. There's so many enemies in the air. More often than not, you're just going to get knocked out and get slowed way down. So it's not much slower. Just go on the ground here. And we're heading into old King DD's castle. Did I say it 3 times? DDD?
Yeah. So one of the interesting things about fire canceling is that if you're on a perfectly flat plane, like perfectly flat horizontal, then it's actually faster to fire cancel on the ground because it's easier to time your B inputs.
Yeah, so here's another combination here. He's gonna get a double boomerang for his next crystal.
Notice how, like, every ledge I see, I'm just gonna slide right off of it.
Yeah, every little optimization you can do, you do it. There's our friend Adeline.
Stop.
Adeline.
Oh my god. Alright, so...
I made a bunch of notes of, like, different ways to pronounce it. That would be funny. I have Adeline. I have Adeline. I have all kinds of stuff.
So this rotating room, I just floated through it and basically skipped the whole thing. And I'm gonna combine fire here with another fire to get everyone's favorite power, double fire. It's the king of any percent. Alright, let's see if I get the jump. Alright, I got fast EDD. Sweet.
Yeah, that skips a little part of his... He has an animation into his second phase where he floats up real slow, but if you can catch him in the air, it slows that down.
No food for Kirby.
We got the whole squad. Squad is here, chowing down, and here's our first boss. Wispy.
Okay, so basically what I'm looking for is... Oh, I missed the mini Wispy. Good RNG from the mini Wispies, moving the direction that I want them to go. But here in the second phase, I want Wispy to throw out his roots and not apples. Oh, yep, good luck. Solid.
This is the first bit of decent RNG in the game. This is definitely where you reset a lot if you get bad RNG. It's like 15-20 seconds at worst you can lose. As opposed to perfect.
Every world boss in this game has like a decent amount of RNG. And so it's almost like I'm playing slots every time I go up to a world boss.
Pretty much, yeah. RNG, I think all in total fluctuates like 2-3 minutes in this run from best to worst, so it can definitely mess up your run if you're having a bad luck day.
Yeah.
For sure.
Alright, here we get to show off some double fire movement. It's easy, you just press B and let the game, like, speed you through it.
This is pretty much what 80% of any percent looks like. It's just double firing. And it looks pretty easy, but it's actually kind of tricky because you can't do the canceling like you do with single fire. You have to be relatively precise where you started out. Otherwise, you're going to fall into pits and hit enemies, and it's rough. But luckily with 100%, you get to switch up your abilities, see all the cool ones. A little bit more exciting. So here he's going to drop his double fire and grab a rock here. It's going to make this next boss a little bit easier. He's also going to combine that here at the end of the level for the ability he needs to get the last crystal.
Oh, I didn't think I got that. I did get it. Alright, here we are in the auto-scroller room. You want to explain this room?
I mean, it's an auto-scroller. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can see all the sand filling up in there.
So there's these
you just
faces.
gotta move across the platforms.
There's these faces on the back wall that are like super low poly, and so there's a joke in the Kirby 64 community that these faces look like the final boss from Star Fox for the Super Nintendo, Andross, and so we like to call this room the Sandross room.
Sandross.
Yeah.
You have to say it with ASMR.
Yeah,
That's
ASMR.
important.
But for the most part, it's an auto-scroller.
So here, our little friend is gonna come save us from our death, and we're moving to the last room of the level.
One thing to know about Kirby's powerless movement is that if the ground isn't perfectly horizontal, it's actually faster to do jumps. Let's see if I get Sparky. Yep. Okay. And so when you go up slopes, it actually subtracts from your horizontal speed and turns it into vertical speed. So it's faster if you just constantly short hop in the air.
It's that way in quite a bit of platformers I know, like Yoshi's Island is the same way. You have to jump over inclines.
Yeah.
Just a little 2D quirk of the 90s is you run up slopes slower, so a little jumping takes care of that. This level is done.
Do I dare go for pillar skip?
I think you should, honestly.
Honestly?
I know Curtis didn't get it as a world record run, so if you do it and just
Alright, I'm gonna
rub
go for
it in
pillar
his
skip.
face.
I'm going for it.
Ooh. So there's a very precise, I don't know if I'd call it frame perfect, but you can skip this pillar dropping here if you jump at the right time. You can run under it.
Oh, I got it! Let's go!
Oh, he did it. Nice little skit. Saves like, what, 3 seconds? But man, is it cool. He still has to ditch his ability there. So yeah, that's a very precise trick for not much payoff, and he pulled it off. Very nice. The consequence, if you don't get it, you die. You have to restart the level and lose like 20 seconds, so... Yeah, it's usually not worth it.
It's swag, that's what it is.
It's swag. Like I said, even that wasn't even done the world record run, so that is maximum swag.
Yeah, he's a coward.
He is a coward, honestly.
That Curtis.
So we're back to single fire, dropping through the ruins here. If you see what you just did right there, if you go up to a ledge from a bit of an upward angle, Kirby will do this animation where he starts to climb up the ledge.
Oops.
And you can just jump out of that, and it makes it a little bit faster. Get a little bit of extra height out of the jump. A lot of little time savers like that you gotta keep an eye out for. He's gonna make a certain height here and just fire cancel all the way through this room until he makes it to this platform. Now gonna give him a little boost up. It's the next door. Just like so. Yeah, so the fire spamming is not nearly as intense if it is in any percent. You're going to see it quite a bit, but just the end of this room is going to grab an ice power up, so it is mixed up a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, so I combine ice and stone to get curling stone, which is necessary to break one of the rock barriers coming up to grab one of the shards. So I get to show off a little bit of the curling movement, which is especially tricky.
Oh yeah, so here we get DDD. This I assume is what it would look like in the beta version of the game I was talking about, where you control the different characters. They kind of just left this in as a little tidbit. Gonna grab that crystal there. The movement's completely different. He has a hammer on B. The power-ups don't work for DDD, so I would like to think this is just a leftover thing they put in there.
And there's a couple of remnants. I mean, you get to see Waddle Dee when you slide around, and then there's a few rooms where Adeline just paints like a food or something to help you out. Anyway, I'm gonna backtrack here to pick up stone.
I believe the original thing with Adeline was that she was supposed to paint one of the 6 animal friends, if I'm not mistaken. That was her ability, but then it just got put in as the boomerang, rock, whatever it is ability.
Sounds
So
about
now we
right.
have Curling Stone. You can see when he starts out using it, he's in the air, has a little bit faster movement speed. Kind of the same movement speed as Single Fire, maybe a little bit different. But the slower thing is that it has a slower recovery than Single Fire, so not perfect, but it allowed him right there to just break through that little platform in the ground there and the skeleton and get that crystal. And he's going to hang on to it the rest of this level.
Yeah, the thing is,
Curling also has a lot more interesting movement than Single Fire, in my opinion.
well, after every curl input, I have to do a dash input. Otherwise, I just lose all the speed that I got.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same as Single Fire. You haven't really seen it yet, but Kirby will like maintain its horizontal speed that he has at the start of an ability. So you want to make sure he's sprinting there. And Kirby 64 has a weird sprint input where you have to press the analog stick to the right twice fast. It's like running in Minecraft. It's kind of silly. So it's a little bit of a pain, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're not judging. Yeah, you can see here, I think the movement with Curling Stone is so much more interesting than Single Fire, because he has to time where he lands in the platforms, and there's difference between short jumps and long jumps, and how long he holds it and stuff like that. So it definitely makes for a little bit more entertaining of a run.
Yeah, Curtis says this is his favorite level, 2-3. But anyway, here's the whole point of getting curling stone. Because in this section, I'm just gonna curl, and because I'm a rock, I just fall all the way down this water much faster than I would without stone.
The Japanese chat says the initial velocity is completely different. I'm getting fact-checked by the Japanese right now. I'm sorry. I'm just making it up as I go, to be honest. It looks similar, alright?
Oh my god.
What can I say?
Alright, this is a good time for donations.
Alright. Sorry, I had to chuckle with the getting fact there. I will say that in addition to donating, you should even consider subscribing to Midwest Speed Fest or cheering bits. Every little bit of Twitch revenue that we receive during this event will also be going towards the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf. And of course, as a reminder, if you have Twitch Prime or Twitch Gaming, you can just subscribe for free. It's pretty simple to do, and again, that also goes towards our wonderful charity.
One of them just said, the blood of a comedian.
Oh my goodness.
I hope that's a compliment. Thank you very much. So here you just grab Bomb. He's going to be using that also later in the level for another combination. He's going to go up the little elevator here, and we got an interesting part where he's going to go the super high climb that you couldn't usually do, but he's going to be damage boosting off these cannons you're going to see here in a second. Once Kirby gets to a certain height and he gets damage off that cannon, he resets the little puff timer, whatever you want to call it. He can go again. Moves to the other side of the stage here, hits it again, and continues going up. A lot faster than waiting for that slow elevator. And right here we're going to go into something called task blocks. That's an old name back from when people thought this was so difficult we could only do it in tasks. But here we are in 2020. We're really good at this game. We can do it just fine, so let's see here. Ooh, did it.
Yep.
Alright, so he goes and grabs that crystal, and then he combines his bomb with the electricity there. Get some little light bulbs so we can see those icons in the back wall there. This little RNG part where you just push these stones down to the corresponding image that you just saw to get him that crystal. Yeah, very nice task blocks there. We have become the task.
I am robot beep boop. Okay, so there's actually an RNG manipulation route for this game, but it's so difficult that no one's been able to pull it off yet in a run. So in the RNG manipulation route, you actually pick up fire and just fire through this entire level, and you just skip over like even getting light bulb, and you just hit the blocks because you know what they are, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the idea being that the RNG manipulate it to a certain combination, right? So you already know what it is. And you just hit those little steps and easy peasy. But here's picks. I would play the song that Curtis always plays on his phone if we wouldn't get copyright strikes, and I'd bring down the whole stream.
Oh my goodness.
I'd imagine you guys would be pretty upset about that, so I won't. But, you know, inside joke there again. So this part's really easy. You just have to sit in a certain spot and avoid these little spinners here. So if you have any more donations, plugs you want to give, this is a good time.
Alrighty then. Let's see here. So, you see some amazing speedrunners here, such as a Grample right now. But if you're a speedrunner yourself and you'd want to participate in one of our marathons, honestly, we'd love to have you. Runners from all across the globe are encouraged to submit to our online events like this one. And if you're willing and able to come to Minneapolis, when, of course, this pandemic gets under control, you can actually take part in our in-person events as well. If you want more information, then feel free to join our Discord by typing !Discord in the chat, or just by checking our Twitch bio.
Oh yeah, so this is the more difficult part here. He has the double power up in his mouth. He's going to spit it out, hopefully hit both of those. Ooh, just short. So for the rest of the boss, he has to grab the corresponding colors of these items in the ground and spit it at him for a little extra damage. And we might still see a one cycle here.
No, I messed it up.
No. One cycle is ideal, but two cycle isn't too slow. He's already got the right color in his mouth.
I thought I had enough hits. Whoops.
Get one more.
All right.
Easy as that.
Yeah, easy peasy. So there's a bad second phase that you can get from Pix, where it just like spins across the room, and is just gonna lose you time no matter what. Anyway, this is World 3, Aquastar. It's got a very oceany, watery aesthetic, some like to say.
What he's doing here, if you notice, he's hitting enemies from underneath. In this game, for some reason, you can just hit them from under as long as you're still holding the jump button. It just stuns them. If you try to step on them like it's Mario, then you can still get hit, but from underneath, that's cool. So you grab single fire, moving through this room here. You're not going to have single fire for too long. It's going to do a little climb here. And then the next room, we have a bit of a tricky combination. Nothing he can't handle, I'm sure.
Luckily, I can just float through this whole room and skip the intended path. Alright, you want to explain this room?
Yeah, so that penguin there, what he's going to do is get to a certain height. If he goes too far horizontally, it's going to despawn that penguin, which he needs to combine with that bomb right there, because he needs ice and bomb. So you see, he came back, got them both in one suck. Because if you go too fast, he gets deloaded, and then you have to reload the room, restart the level, whatever. It can be kind of rough, so he timed that well, and now we have ice and bomb, which is the exploding snowman, for a crystal here coming up. Now we just got a little bit of good old vanilla movement through this room.
It's kind of funny how all the mini-bosses are just bigger versions of regular enemies. It's like they got lazy.
I mean, there's so many mini-bosses, it would probably take them twice as long to get all unique enemies, but hey.
Well, I mean, in like
can't
Kirby's
judge.
Dream Land 2, all the mini-bosses were like all fleshed out. Also, Sparky just gave me horrible luck.
Yeah, Sparky will jump in different directions. Oh, double bad luck.
Yeah, Sparky is the enemy of this game, honestly. As you'll see later in World 5.
Well, we won't see because you're actually going to do the setup and snipe him.
No, I'm not going to do that
and it
setup.
won't even be a thing.
It's not easy. It's not easy to do.
I won't give them false expectations, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so he's going to ditch his ice bomb there as we go into the next level. Which is 3-2. There's a little bit more of that vanilla, no ability movement. If he runs in the water, it gives him a little touch more movement speed. So he'll try to do that whenever that's practical.
I'm gonna go for one of the newer strats, 2 rooms up ahead. I don't know if you know about it, Yelp. It's a faster
Well, I
main
know
boss.
about it. We'll see. See how it goes.
Do you know about
So
it?
he's just... I know about it. I've seen it.
Oh, okay, okay.
I keep up with these things.
I'm fact checking you, buddy.
I don't need one. Leave that to the Japanese stream, please.
Yeah.
See, he's holding the rock in his mouth. It just saves him a little bit of time rather than having to swallow it and then get it back out of his mouth or wherever he grabs it. So he can jump over this penguin here. He's going to grab it, combine it with fire. I'm ready for this mini-boss. Gonna give you complete silence here for this.
Oh, it's not that hard.
Oh, it's hard.
Anyway, that little trick where you throw away your power at it saves a second. As discovered by Swordsman Kirby.
Yep, you want to use that double power-up to throw at enemies when you can, because it does a little bit more damage than throwing a single power-up. So you'll see it a few times through the run where he will utilize that whenever he has to get rid of his power-up and do some damage, like after bosses and such. Here's a nice little auto-scroller with your buddy Waddle Dee.
Yeah.
Avoiding the square rocks and stuff. And grab that crystal. That's a very bad crystal to miss, because if you miss it, then you have to restart the whole level.
I already
You
got it.
lose, what, 2 minutes? It's rough. But luckily it's really easy to get.
Dude, how fun would this be? Just to go rafting down a river with your best pal? In a box?
It wouldn't be very fun, because you have to avoid these rocks.
That's
How
fine.
do
You
you
can
even
just
do that?
all you have to do is press A and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Didn't you
wait,
know
wait,
all
wait.
boxes have it equipped?
Very true.
Yeah, just press the A button.
So here he has his little invincibility, Kirby invincibility. He's gonna blow through all these enemies, and notice he got an enemy in his mouth. When Kirby's all puffed up like that, it cancels that falling animation that we try to avoid for falling off so many waterfalls here. So you can spit it out there. The next room we're going into is the climb. This one is a little bit tricky. You have to grab a single fire up here. Quite a few places where those falling logs can hit you, trip you up. But Grample's the master. He's not going to have one hiccup.
Oh, don't say that.
It's also more difficult because you can see that water kind of gives you a bit of a... It pushes you to the left a little bit from the ground. So you want to stay in the air as much as possible, use that single fire. And coming up here is a long vertical climb.
Oh, but I got the climb just fine. Let's go.
Like I said, easy peasy.
Alright, everyone's favorite level coming right up.
Yeah, so this is the bigger RNG level right here. I'll explain it more when we get up to it, but it has to do with the animal friends from Dreamland 2 we already mentioned. It's a nightmare, ruins a lot of runs. But beginning of the level is pretty easy, still single firing, moving through things pretty easy. This level has a very weird camera angle from like the back left, which is a little strange as it moves back to straight here, so it's a little bit difficult to get that single fire there, but no problems of course.
If you're good at fire canceling, you like don't lose any height, but man, I've definitely gotten rusty at it. Oof.
It's harder than it looks. If you haven't done it before, you don't speedrun this game, it looks easy, but when you start running this game, it's the first thing you have to learn. It's a very certain rhythm to get that without losing height, but once you have it down, you usually have it down pretty well. He's going to combine the bomb and boomerang here. This is the exploding shuriken he's going to use up on this hidden mountain area coming up ahead here to get a hidden crystal.
Yeah, this is a bomb and boomer, also known as KO boomer.
Bomb and boom.
Alright, so I'm gonna dump the ability here to pick up Cutter and Rock. So Cutter and Stone gives you one of 6 animal friends in this game. Oh. And so,
one of 6 animal friends from the previous Kirby games. What we're looking for is because each of those animal friends has like a very minor ability. The one we want is Rick because he can climb up walls at infinite height. And if you remember this game, there's a crystal super far up, and you would think as a kid playing this game, oh, I can just jump up there. But you can't. And I think I can speak for most people. This is the one that I always missed the crystal on when I was a kid, but
yeah,
you gotta get Rick. It's a 1 in 6 chance to get Rick.
Yeah, so we like to guess how many tries it'll take to get Rick. So
yes, enter your guesses right now. Whoever wins, I'm gonna give you a prize. I can't tell you what it is.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness, this is bad. 8th try Rick. Wow.
8. Now, Asuka, I'm not sure if that was just typed afterwards. I'm gonna need the referees on that one to see if you get my prize, but 8 tries. Alright, 8 tries, it's not terrible. I think the worst RNG seed is what, 27 tries?
Yeah, 27th is
terrible.
The absolute worst that you can get, and we discovered that by looking at the RNG.
And that would lose about a minute, so that hurts.
It cuts deep.
And this part here, as soon as you land on those platforms, it starts to drop, but easy enough. Jump again. That's going to bring him to the end of the level. He's going to hold on to his ability here. And that's the end.
I lost 15 seconds, by the way.
That's alright, we're not keeping track.
Oh. Rick.
So yeah, he can... Oh, there's Rick again. Uses that power up to get a fast fall through the water here. And then he's going to ditch it before he goes into this next room.
Oh. Well, ditch it here.
Or right there, you know.
Okay. So I'm just going to hold this fish over my head. and let the game do the work for me while I take a sip of coffee.
I did not know you could do this until I speedran the game. You can just hold a fish over your head and you get a ton of horizontal movement speed in the water. It's very nice. If you have donos or shoutouts, now is a good time.
I know they've come up a few times, so might as well plug our alt language restream. So in case you didn't know, Midfall Speed Football is being restreamed this year in both French and Japanese by our friends over at Baguette Restream and our wonderful fact checkers Japanese Restream, respectively. You can find the French restream at twitch.tv/baguette_restream and the Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. We've actually worked with both these groups before, and we are super thankful to have their support and fact checking once again. So, shout outs to our Baguette and Japanese restreams.
Interesting note about the Japanese commentator is actually Cyril, who is one of the top 10 runners of this game. Shoutouts to Cyril, by the way. Thank you very much for commentating.
Shout out to Cyril, that's our guy. So this level is pretty much all underwater. Actually, not pretty much, it is all underwater. So all these crystals, if he misses them, you can't go to the left. You can't move at all because of the water current that's in all these rooms. So a little bit scary if you miss those. You have to restart the level, but pretty easy for a professional runner like Grample here. For this mini boss, he's going to use that little hole in the wall to get himself stuck and not move through that current. Get 4 hits there, and move on to this next room. This is where it has some rocks cruising through, RNG. Do a little dodging here up until this last third crystal in this pit. Not this one, but the next one.
Yeah, so the boulders that spawn in this room are actually complete RNG, so I could get completely screwed.
It is true, but didn't miss any crystals. Good to go. No backtracking necessary. We're going to hold on to that bomb for the boss.
Alright, so Acro. Fun fact, did you know Acro spelled backwards is Orca?
What? No way.
You didn't know that?
That is a fun fact.
What are you, crazy?
I did know it, but I'm being a You had to ruin it. So yeah, Orca, the only RNG there is pretty easy for that first phase. There's a little animation of him falling. You want it to be a little lower when he dies there, so he doesn't have that long animation. That was okay. We can live with that. Second phase is a little bit more vertical. A little bit more tricky. You're going to try to get him with a bomb before he shows up on the screen. The only real slowdown we'll have here is if sometimes he'll sweep up the screen and then go down the back in the background there. But if we're fast, we can avoid that. So far, so good.
Cruising through this run. Let's go.
And that is the end of World 3.
Alright, so second half of the run is a lot harder for sure, especially World 4. We like to call 4-1 the butter level because of the buttery smooth movement that's required to go through it. I'm going to try go for the fast find, the third room.
Yes, there is quite a bit of interesting movement in this level that we'll see here. A Sobin_Row just said, when I thought I saw this mug somewhere, it was alcoholic. Are you drinking alcohol there, Grample?
I swear to you, it's coffee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Brewed from my Keurig.
I'll leave that up to the viewer's interpretation, but if it's mine, he's
right.
lying. He's drinking right now. So there's the first crystal. That room, like I said, that vanilla movement is always pretty interesting. Grabs that second crystal there. He's going to grab a single fire. After this vertical climb room here, what we have are swinging vines. If you remember what I said earlier, when you start that single fire, Kirby maintains whatever horizontal velocity he starts out with. So if we hang on to these vines and let go and then use single fire, he'll have a super duper fast single fire. So the timing here is pretty tight to grab the one after this ledge. Let's see. Oh, just missed it.
Yeah,
That's alright, there's backup strats.
Alright.
When it's done perfectly, it looks really cool, but you can see right there, that single fire.
It's pretty tough to
blazes
do.
across the screen.
I would say only the top 3 runners have gotten it so far.
It's tricky. It's tricky for sure. He'll do a little bit again on this log here. You'll see him jump off. Maybe if he does it, if he's nice. Yeah, a little bit of extra movement speed you try to utilize. Japanese chat's typing all question marks. I have a feeling you guys are like all making fun of me right now, but I'm just gonna ignore it, you guys.
No, we love Yelp.
English chat's nice. Japanese chat is just roasting me. I can't even translate it fast enough. Who's gonna keep using single fire? Move through this level here. He's gonna grab the rock power up. What you're gonna see him do after this is we're gonna backtrack back to World 2. At the beginning of that boss level there, or the one before Pick, sorry. There's a bomb right there at the beginning. That's the fastest way he can combine rock and bomb for the TNT, which is necessary for this next level. So he'll just backtrack here, toss it, combine it, swallow it. That easy.
Alright, so coming up on Waddle Dee section number 2, where we ride in a minecart. It's very reminiscent for me of Donkey Kong Country. You're just hopping up and down. Some people like to think of Super Mario RPG, but I always think Donkey Kong Country. It's actually faster to jump as many times as you can, because you gain a tiny bit, like a fraction of speed every time you jump. So I'm trying to jump as much as I can throughout this section.
I personally like to try to do a pacifist run and avoid every enemy. But that's only for the professionals. I'm not sure you're ready for that. But he grabbed the crystal there. That's another scary crystal. If he moves that, if he misses that, he obviously can't backtrack and grab that, but easy to grab. And then this little auto score will end here. Also, again, easy peasy.
All the little jumps don't really save you that much time, but the one that does save you a lot of time is the last jump.
Just those little optimizations. Every little one.
I'm going for the Curtis Bop. Aw, missed it.
It takes some fairly precise jumps to miss these knockoff thwomps here.
I'm gonna damage boost on this. Okay. Easy damage boost. Yeah, 4-2 is just a lot of powerless movement. And, riding along water currents and stuff. So, really it's just me and pressing the A button. Knowing when to press the A button.
Yeah, here he's going to jump over all these inclines and then just run through the flat ground. Like we've been saying, slower on incline. But at the second half of this room, you're going to see it goes to a decline here. And since this is like a certain type of ground with water, he runs faster on the decline, so he won't jump, get a little extra movement speed, move into the next room. This one is a little bit trickier movement than you would think. There's a lot of enemies, and in particular those storm cloud guys, whatever their names are.
They're called
throw
Zeus.
Projectiles. What are they called?
They're called Zeus.
Zeus, nice name. I can't bother to learn all these names of enemies. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, avoiding these enemies. What he's going to do here is use the TNT. He's going to drop it off the ledge. And it's going to hit that enemy right there and blow open that rock.
Alright.
If you see there, he pulls out his little helmet, holds down, and he pulls out his helmet, and he can resist damage from that explosion. He's going to do the same thing here up in this boss room. Toss the TNT and put his little helmet on. Or just take lots of damage.
It's fine.
But you can kick the dynamite too.
There's a tomato in this room right here, so it's fine if you take damage.
It's true. Yeah, health is rarely an issue at this game, unless you're like a beginner and you get hit a lot. And even then, there's ends of level you can get a maximum tomato or anything like that. And this room is great. He's gonna cause that little guy to commit suicide there and go about our day. And that's it.
Alright, 4-3. The first, I would say the first hard level with curling.
Yeah, this definitely steps up the curling stone difficulty quite a bit from the last level. Lots of different platforms. This is like a rocky cliff mountain themed level, so lots of holes and drop-offs. Since curling stone drops so fast, it can be pretty dangerous if you miss a platform, because then you're going to drop off and you might die, and that's not good. So he used the drill there to open up that platform to get his crystal. And that's the only time he's going to use a drill, other than one other time later. Even though the drill is a cool power-up ability.
Alright, I'm gonna go for a 1 second time save. If I miss it, I'm gonna lose 10 seconds. Alright, I got it.
Accurate little spit there. I think everybody does that. It's just the way to do it.
Yeah, but if you miss
like
it...
you said, if you miss it, you have to go back to that last room and get ice again.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing if you miss it.
It is shameful, but, you know, it's the risk we take here. Speedrunning this game is a little bit of shame.
Yeah, there's this guy, so there's actually a pretty sizable Japanese community for this game. There's this runner by the name of Shin Karibo that goes for like the sweatiest, like riskiest strats that save like half a second maybe, and it's like super risky. And every strat that he goes for we call Shin strats. But anyway,
he's definitely entertaining to watch. He's got a lot of very fast movement. Definitely a fun one to watch. Up here's a little bit of RNG where Adelene will paint a little picture. One of 3 pictures. He just got the parasol, and he has to make that picture down the next room with these blocks.
yeah,
I'm going to use the curling stone to get a little extra there. A little risky.
I got the worst
we
luck.
pulled it off. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it still is risky to use that, because if you break the wrong block, you have to reload the room and lose more time.
Oh, it's fine.
But it's, like I said, professional runner here, easy peasy.
Yeah, it's a marathon run. We're here for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna float up. I should not have done that.
Yeah, a little bit of tricky movement with the curling stone here, but nothing too terrible. Next crystal's there down in the hole, kind of hidden.
Yeah, so curling is very planned out in the route, but if your spacing is off, you kind of have to just like make up what to do on the fly. But looks like I get out of this level scot-free. Just bad
Isn't
luck
it
with
nice that they chisel all those rocks into your name, Kirby, for you?
Oh
as
yeah,
you pass by. Very sweet of those guys. So he's still going to use Curling Stone for the majority of this level as well. He's going to use a couple different abilities to grab some crystals, but this room is fairly easy, but the next one he's going to do more tricky Curling Stone movement with lava that can be fallen into, platforms that can be missed. Like I said, Curling Stone I think is definitely the most interesting movement in this game as far as timing, spacing. Can be tricky. But like Grample said earlier, pretty much all these movements are planned out. Right where you jump, right where you start the Curling Stone, how many puffs in the air you do to get the distance, it's pretty much all muscle memory.
Yeah.
Here's another DDD section, help get you through the lava here. Here you're going to utilize his hammer quite a bit to break through all these rocks. Also a lot of enemies, the birds. You know what these birds are called?
Phoenixes? I have no idea.
You're supposed to be my knowledge guy. Yeah, but there's a lot of guys dropping those rocks on you, you can take damage. This is definitely harder than the past DDD sections. Coming up here is the hidden crystal. He's going to break that with his hammer. There it is. Yeah, the last 2 DDD sections in this game are definitely more difficult than the first 2. For sure.
Alright, some more curling here. Actually, this would be a good time for donations. Since it's just a lot of curling.
Alright. Well, I will say that we are running out of time for the Super Monkey Ball Gaiden Monkey Bid War. You get to choose what monkey is going to be used. And again, the options are I, Baby, Gon Gon, and Me. They're currently all tied right now. So if you want a particular monkey to watch during that whole run, put your donation towards one of those.
My money's on Baby. I want Baby.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
I just hit fire.
A little bit more curling stone in here. Next room, he's going to actually use it to get a crystal that's hidden under a rock. I believe it's the only time that curling stone actually has, other than 2-1. Gets you broken rock there. And he's going to go from curling stone to double fire again.
Yeah, that rock that you break, you would think like in a casual playthrough, it would have some kind of coloration to tell you that you need ice to break it, but it just has no indication whatsoever. So a lot of people miss that shard in their first playthrough.
You think there's a handful of tricky shards that I think most kids missed and just never got the secret ending of this game. Because there's no, unless you have the Nintendo Power Guide, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, so much for my Blockbuster rental.
So his double fires here are placed in the same spot. He starts it in a very specific place, so he lands in a specific place. Otherwise, he'll be falling into pits, taking damage and being slow, but easy enough. Then a big climb here as the lava rises up. And at the end here, he's going to grab a single boomerang power-up that he's going to be combining with fire in the next boss room for the Fire Sword. Cool ability.
Yeah, so Magman is like a really, really tough boss when it comes to RNG. You really want good luck when you come up to him. So what I'm looking for is a 2-cycle first phase, and then a perfect second phase. Let's see what I get.
Yeah, I believe he has 5 or 6 different attacks he can do. Some of them you can get more damage on him than others. This one you can get 3 hits.
I only got 2
The
there.
Fire Sword is the most useful because it just has that constant damage behind you. You can just hold it out there and deal damage as fast as possible. Looks like it'll be a 3-cycler. Oh, 2-cycle.
Yep.
Now, I did see a new strat with this second phase. Are you?
Oh
keen
no,
on
I'm not
that?
going for that. Nope.
Oof. It was pretty cool. I saw Curtis do that in his world record run.
Okay, so basically, I just don't want Magman to pull up into the ground, which he did. Okay, great. So I got bad luck. No big deal.
Not too bad. He'll do a little attack there. Spit some birds and rocks at you. The idea is to get him 1 more damage count. Then he's going to toss his double power up at him. Get rid of that ability. Get his crystal. Peace out.
So
It's not bad at all as far as Magman goes.
yeah, just bad second phase. That's it. All right, Shiver Star, everyone's favorite lore-filled Kirby level.
I like the music in this better.
Yeah, World 5 does have some killer music.
Definitely has some of the better tracks. 5-2 and then
5-4.
5-4.
Yeah. So I'm doing single fire canceling here, but what's interesting to know is I haven't done this in the past 20 minutes, so it's a little trickier to get it here. Because my timing is going to be off.
It's like riding a bike. It's the same rhythm.
Whatever you say, man.
So coming up, we have another auto scroll after this room. That's going to be the snow sled with your buddy Waddle Dee. But this is just a little climb, a little single firing. Another crystal to grab here in the middle of the run too. But always easy to do, not much of an issue.
Sledding down the mountain with your best pal. Pressing the A button.
Sweet times with your buddy Waddle Dee.
Yeah.
If you got donos or anything like that, now would be a good time.
Sure. I will say that throughout Midfall Speedball, a single $5 or larger donation will actually enter you to win one of our 25 Steam keys for retro arcade puzzle game Delta Light, which is developed by Flatbox Studios. In it, you combine your speed and insight to outmaneuver and puzzle your way around the enemies to complete all of the many levels. Just make sure you're logged into your speedrun.com account when you donate so we can contact you if you win. So if you're not logged in, we don't know who to send the key to, so get those $5 or more donations in and you can win too.
It's very true. Free game. So he blew up that rock and ceiling there before he fought the boss, get his crystal. Another thing where you had to have a certain power-up that you may not be keen on to get that crystal can be easily missed. I'm not sure if you can use the power-ups to break that rock or not.
Okay, so I'm about to go underwater. Underwater movement, everything is halved. All the animations are halved. So any little minor mistake that I make here is actually like twice as bad.
Yes, and you'll use a single fire here. It's a little bit faster, or not faster, but easier than regular single fire, where you just press A and then press B again to keep going in a straight line there. Really moving through right quick and jump out of the hole there. There is no easy way to do that. That enemy's always right there on top of you to bonk you.
Yeah, you're expected to just take damage there. Alright, so here I'm just gonna float after every single fire, which is actually the easiest consistent way to climb this mountain. Once I get to the
we get quite a bit of height here. Can't see it yet, but there is a very tall mountain that climbs up the most of the level.
Yeah. Once I reach the desired height, I just fire cancel from there. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. Alright.
Yeah, sing the whole song.
No.
Yeah, so that's another place where it comes in handy to have a consistent single fire, because if you lose height there, it can definitely hurt your time quite a bit.
Alright, 5-2. Let me get some sour places in the chat. This song's a bop.
This is a banger.
I would say this song is probably my favorite in the game.
This one's a close second, but I love that 5-4 song. It's a good song. Very good song. So this is just a little bit more single fire movement. Got a crystal coming up underneath the clouds. And fairly easy room, I'd say. And there's going to be at the end of this room a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it, a upwind with stars and stuff. Makes it a little bit trickier if we didn't have the single fire, but...
High wind?
A high wind, yeah.
All these Final Fantasy references.
References are crazy, bro.
Alright.
What do you call these green orbs here?
They're called Z-bonds.
Z-bonds.
Yeah.
There's a little hidden crystal up there in the top left. He's gonna go grab and then go back. Then go straight up to the next room. Thank you, Mr. Z-bond.
So there's a pretty tricky ability combination coming up where I have to combine Needle with Spark. But again, it's Spark, so I'm gonna have to deal with Sparky. And so Sparky's movement is completely random. There's a chance that he could just completely jump off the cliff, or like just not cooperate and not allow me to combine with him. So if I don't get the combination, I'm gonna lose a minute of time.
A hot minute. There is a setup that was found that's pretty difficult to do. I just saw somebody post a clip of it in the Kirby 64 Discord, of it being done very recently in the tournament. Kind of eliminates that RNG factor, but it is difficult to do.
So the setup actually is a bit slower than getting perfect Sparky RNG, but should you get it every time, like, then you have nothing to worry about with Sparky. You actually combine it with him,
so
like,
to speak.
He actually spawns in the air, so you just combine with him as he spawns. Okay, here's Sparky. And, oh, yep, that's called perfect RNG, baby! Alright.
Sometimes he'll drop into that pit to the right, sometimes he'll do his little spark attack where you can't combine a power-up with him and slow you down, but that was near perfect. He's going to use that to break this box here in the boss room and also use it to do damage on the boss. A little bit awkward, this boss's movements are random, but he also stays in place after you hit him once, so it's pretty easy to combo him. And that's it. So we've had pretty good RNG. I don't want to jinx it, but pretty good RNG so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty decent. Not gonna lie. Alright, so, it's a fan favorite level of a bunch of people. This is the mall level, but strangely empty and devoid of customers.
The empty mall. And if you saw what we tried to do there, if you press R and Kirby gets rid of his power-up at the same frame that you go through a door into a loading zone, he'll skip the animation and just put it in his mouth, and it won't lose any time, won't lose any speed, I mean. But that's pretty difficult to do. You'll see that again, I think in World 6 we'll do that. Kind of a tricky, advanced strat. Up here he's going to try to get both of these enemies in his mouth, spit it out. Yep, get all those guys on the platform, slide through that third one. Easy peasy. Little elevator ride here in this room. A lot of the movement here is tricky because those pillars are kind of obstructing your view.
Yeah.
So we're gonna grab a single needle here for a drill combination we have come up to the end of the level. So we'll have this on for a while.
Jumped a little too soon.
More knockoff thwomps. You can just use the needle to get a little extra horizontal movement on your jumps there and
Yeah.
avoid those guys.
As long as you get bumped on the second half, it'll bump you in the right direction.
Cool damage boost. This boss also very easy with the needle. Hit him once on your way up and once on your way down. It's a done deal. Next room's interesting. This is where we have Adeline again. She's going to paint different fruits on the window. And the next puzzle is there are different colored switches. You can see there, he's going to have to match the colors to the fruits. That's going to be pink, purple, and orange for peach, grape, and orange. Not great RNG. You want those switches to be closer to the left so you can not have to backtrack, but
yeah, it was
nothing major at all.
You basically just don't want grape, lemon, or orange. But
Yeah.
I got 2 out of those. So, it's whatever.
So here we'll do a nice little combination, get our drill. We're going to use this not until the beginning of the next level, but it can also be used kind of handily with this next room coming up here to get rid of some enemies, make it a bit easier. These levels are getting a little bit more dense with enemies, getting a bit more tricky.
Oops. I'm just gonna hold drill.
Yeah, the alternative is just holding the drill. I think that's just a little bit slower than regular running speed.
Oh, actually, it's the exact same speed as running using drill.
It always looked kind of slower because he bounces a little bit slower.
Proven by BizHawk. Anyway, so this is the aimbot room. So these cannons are notoriously good at like aiming at you. So I have to like pre-plan where my jumps are gonna be.
Yeah, they don't shoot it at you. They actually shoot ahead of you and do a very good job of hitting you. It can be tricky.
So coming up here is 5-4, the factory level. This is I want to say one of the harder levels in the run. There's 3 rooms where you can just get one hit KO'd.
It's definitely tricky. So he's gonna put that power up in his mouth there just to make the dropping animation canceled. He's gonna use his drill here down below him. You're gonna see it's gonna break that platform down there. That's all he needed it for. Get rid of that. Grab single fire. And the next room we're gonna go is with King DDD. This is gonna be the last time we play as DDD. We're still gonna see him again, but this is the last time we play as him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be made difficult for 2 reasons. For one, this conveyor belt, this green conveyor belt on the ground, moves to the left, so you get slowed down. So he's going to be jumping constantly to avoid that movement speed loss. He also has to avoid all these guys with hammers. Hammers are a one-hit kill. If he gets hit by these, he has to go through all 3 of those rooms again, or not all 3, but start this room again, and it can be kind of rough. But with perfect movement speed here, you can skip past all but one of these guys. But right by perfect, I mean very near perfect. So break through all these, jump
I'm not
over
going
the
for it.
enemies.
Nope. I wasn't gonna make it.
Not bad. Yeah, it is better sometimes just to be safe there.
Yeah.
So this room, there's a bunch of these guys in like test tubes. I'm not sure if these are like scrapped enemies. They're like showcasing in the background, but kind of cool to look at there in the background. He's gonna grab his boomerang. He's gonna combine that with Spark up here in a second for the cool double-bladed laser sword.
Yeah,
the game calls it.
Darth Maul power up.
Darth Maul. Basically, I think this came out very close to episode 1. So yeah, gonna kill his giant bird there. Toss it, extra damage, and grab single fire again. But he's gonna grab that crystal.
Alright, Crusher room number 2.
Yes, this is tricky. If he has just a little bit slower movement speed than he needs, then he will mess up the perfect cycle of getting past all these platforms. It's kind of close, but not terrible. But if your single fire hits a platform or slows down anyway, then it is gonna slow you down, and you're not gonna get through here as fast as possible.
Yeah, this is more of a beginner check for speedruns. because it's pretty hard for people to nail if you don't have single fire canceling down. But for more veteran runners, then it's a lot easier to just get it right every time. Right, Crusher room number 3. So there's these electric walls that come at you from the side, and basically I'm just gonna outrun them by doing single fire. No big deal.
Single fire makes it pretty easy. And then there's crystal over here on the far right side of this platform. You can grab that, and up at the top here we're gonna grab the spark for our boss, HR. Yep. Another RNG boss.
Yeah, so we like to call this boss HRNG because this one is the worst one when it comes to world bosses in RNG. So what we're praying for is 3 cycles here, but basically what we want this robot to do is either a slap or a clap. And so we like to channel our inner Bulby Stroganoffsky, you know, slap, 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 clap, clap, clap. You ever seen that?
Sir.
Jimmy Neutron
you just
show.
did the slap there, we got 1 hit off of. The clap you're going to be able to get 4 of 6 hits on.
Yo, the 3 cycle! 5. Let's go! Oh my goodness.
Man, I didn't jinx it. Cool.
Dude, we are schmoovin'.
Very nice. The second phase here, he turns into a little rocket ship with scissor arms. Interesting. It is partially easy with Spark. He just has to hit him from below. He's going to move to the right a little bit here, so when he drops, he's going to miss loading a little animation he does where he scoots to the right. A little bit faster. Little optimizations. And finish it out.
Yeah, in the second phase, you either want the boss to do scissor pattern or the big missile at the bottom. Those are the fastest ones. I just golded that. Wow. Let's go!
Here comes World 6. If you're a close attention payer, you'll see this is a remix of 1-1. It's a little bit different enemies, different decor. Gonna grab single fire and move through the rest of this again.
Oops. Yeah, because this level is so similar to 1-1, we like to call this the DLC level. Like, even the enemy placements are all in the same spot.
Yeah. He's got Needle here, he's going to use that for a combination coming up, as well as making this mini-boss a little bit easier, since he kind of hangs out underneath the ground, and the Needle has hitbox underground, you can get him as he tries to disappear there. Makes that very fast. And it's a very similar combination to one we did in 1-1, where he's going to combine this Needle with Bomb, and blow up that same rock, and get that last crystal. Easily done. This is the only time we're going to see this ability in the game. There it is. Now it's over. He's going to get rid of his power-up here at the end. I keep saying power-up or ability. I don't know which one it technically is. You know what I mean.
Same thing.
He's going to lose that. We're going to go back and grab the single electricity from that first enemy there for the second level.
Alright, 6-2, the calm before the storm.
Yes. This is a pretty easy level. Pretty chill.
Oops.
Helps you calm your nerves if you're on a good run.
I tried to pull out my ability right at the loading zone, but I was a little early, so Kirby pulled it out completely. That's fine.
That one is tricky because you're moving slower underwater, so you don't really know how to time it quite right, but...
It's fine.
It's tricky. Now we're back. We got the double-edged laser sword.
Emphasis on double.
Emphasis on the double. DDD's coming to help us out here.
Yeah, it's the final time that DDD comes and helps us.
No. He's the one that knocks you into O2, remember?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We're not done yet.
The final time in any percent.
Don't write him off quite yet.
I will say, if you have a second, I have 2 donations I'd like to.
Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. Well, it seems like some people wanted their special baby to be chosen as the monkey. So
let's go.
We have donating $2, and Helix states that it's been brought to my attention that Peters Inc. has never completed a guide and run as Baby before. And anonymous $5 donation that simply says Baby is best monkey. So with that, unless it changes, it looks like you're going to be, well, completing a guide and run as Baby right now.
Hog.
Thank you for the questions.
Very nice. Inet Muru just said in the Japanese chat, Jedi can easily fall to the dark side with random numbers. I agree.
Alright, 6-3.
You gotta be careful.
Tricky level. I'm not gonna say much here.
Yeah, this is a bit of an enemy rush room. It's mostly trivialized by our sword here. You can just kind of wave back and forth between the two ends and get them as soon as they spawn. Relatively easy, but it is also easy to mess up one little thing and the whole thing gets thrown off.
This is a common place for runners to practice before starting their runs.
Yeah, this is a lot more technical of room than you're used to, both with these actual rooms where you fight the enemies, and with the little in-between rooms where you have to relatively tight movement with the enemies here. Nothing too bad, of course. This room is very interesting because if you see that little sun on the ground, there is a hidden crystal under there. This one actually gives you a clue with the needles around the circle and then the fire colored. It needs the fire arrows. Open that up, get your crystal. And then, conveniently for us, those last two enemies are Shock and Boomerang, and we get our double-edged sword back. And then in these next rooms, a little bit different. They're not going to be spawning on the ground. They're going to be spawning in the air. These are all the enemies that float and such. Also pretty easy with just jumping and then pressing B to use your little swing there. But again, if you miss one little thing, you can get kind of thrown off, and then it gets a bit hectic.
Yeah.
But nothing too terrible. This is the same thing. These guys are a little bit off to the right and left. You have to just kind of move around, swing your sword. Nothing crazy. This will be our last crystal shard. So what he's going to do here is he's not going to get rid of his power-up before Miracle Matter. Miracle Matter, what happens is it has different phases for each ability. You can only damage Miracle Matter if you have that same ability. So what we're hoping for is that Miracle Matter will start with either Boomerang or Shock, and then we can just use our sword right away and get a little bit of time saved.
Alright, lottery time.
Yes,
Lose.
Miracle Matter, tough boss. I know in the world record, I believe Curtis went from behind 5 seconds to ahead 12 seconds with just having a really good Miracle Matter. This will kill your run, and it's very late in the run. So we started out with the needle there. Easy peasy. Going for the fast rock strat? No.
No, I'm not going for any of that.
Come on, man. Okay. Not too bad. Miracle Matter has a bit of RNG and also a bit of pretty intensive execution to get it perfect. So far we're doing good.
Worst fire luck.
Fire you want to be... there's different RNG with how it attacks in its fire phase. That one is obviously the worst because it only does one and you can't get it in one cycle. But not a big deal. Bomb is also tricky here. We got to get 2 hits on it. See, ooh, not bad. That one's has pretty tight timing as well as this one. These longer beams of electricity are going to turn into little power-ups you can get there. And that was really quick. Looks like you can get 3 hits on this. Ooh, I thought you had that.
Nah.
That one's infamously difficult. Oh, he's going for something tricky here. Grabbing our sword again. If we can get electricity here, you can save some time. Oh. But we will have fire to hang on to make the last level a little bit faster, thankfully.
So unfortunate.
Not the best. Not the best. Oh, we have a different phase, don't we? What's left over? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. If I could use a Japanese inside joke here. Freaking... Mitsu desu. Mitsu desu. Social distance yo toyu desu ne.
I'll let you know if the chat pops off for that one. Alright, we're done with Miracle Matter. This is where, if you didn't have all the crystals, the game would end, but we have unlocked the good ending. We can now move through this secret final level. We're going to get our last bit of help from all of our friends, from Waddle Dee, Adelene, DDD, and we're going to fight.
You want to explain the 1 cycle O2? So timing is on the last hit of 0-2, which is on the green spike.
Yeah, this has a very tricky part. It's the very end of the run, and you have to have good execution, good RNG to get a 1 cycle, which saves, what, 30 seconds? So it's, if you're on world record pace, it's pretty necessary. Pretty unfortunate this is at the very end of the run, but what can you do?
It's a combination of skill and luck. You have to get both.
Yeah, so he's gonna move through here. The key is that bandage on top of his head normally has that halo protecting it. For just a little bit after he finishes this phase where he can deal damage, that's going to be exposed. He's going to start moving down so that he can get it lined up just right. And we'll see if he can snipe him.
No!
Ooh, I'm behind. Ooh, kind of weird timing there from him, but...
It's fine. I'm going to get the 2
right.
cycle.
2 cycle, also not bad. So yeah, it has these just 3 phases. Hit the eye, hit the top of his head, and then hit his little stinky appendage, or whatever that's supposed to be.
Alright, time's coming up here.
Time. Explosion. Time.
Low 110. I'm so satisfied with that.
Not bad.
Heck yeah. Alright, so that was 100% with the true final boss completed.
Best ending.
Yeah. Shoutouts to freaking Evil Yopstal here. Dude, thank you so much for giving me commentary.
Dude, you're welcome, man. I'm happy to do it. My throat's pretty dry now. I don't talk that much usually.
Yeah, normally I can't, like, talk and play the game at the same time, so I'm really, really thankful that you were here, man.
We got the kiss.
The kiss. Shoutouts to Midwest Speed Fest for having me. This run's pretty fun to watch, I'd say. Bopping the soundtrack and whatnot. Thank you, Cyril, for giving me the Japanese commentary. Special shoutouts to the community: Swordsman Kirby, Curtissimo41, Shin Kuribo, Cyril, Cabbage, and everybody else for keeping this game alive. So.
Yes, shout out to the Japanese chat over there for keeping me in check, making sure I don't say incorrect things.
Fact checking you.
I appreciate you guys. I know you're listening.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Ditto.